What's up guys, Readiness Rations here with you again, and we're going to be taking a look at a US MRE today, but this particular US MRE is a Halal Meal Individual. These are US military rations produced for those soldiers that have certain religious dietary requirements, and that means that these halal meals have some very interesting menu options. This one is vegetable barley stew with lamb. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty amazing to me. Before we crack this one open, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you like seeing these military ration reviews here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel to catch all of my future MRE content, and let me know down in the comments what ration you would like to see me review next. Now, this Halal Meal Individual was packed by Sopacco, one of the 3 companies that pack US MREs. The date of packing on that is the 62nd day of 2016. So this guy's got some age on it. The outside bag is just like a regular MRE bag, except for it's clear. And let's try that pillable seal. Very easy. A standard MRE has an inspection date of 3 years. These halal meals are not rated for quite as good a shelf life, but hopefully I can still make a meal out of this one. First thing is our flameless ration heater, an accessory package, which we will take an in-depth look at here in a moment. Next up is 2.23 ounces of mini pretzels, 120 calories, a 1 ounce package of ginger snap cookies, a package of R&S peanuts, that's roasted and salted, by the way, a beverage-based powdered grape, no fruit juice variety, 1.59 ounces of raisins, a 4.5 ounce pack of halal chocolate pudding, that's 260 calories. And the last item is our entree, that is halal vegetable barley stew with lamb, 380 calories, and an 8 ounce package as usual. Now for that accessory package, in that we have both salt and pepper. Pepper is not included in your regular MRE. A pack of Lighthouse toilet paper, a standard MRE spoon, a double pack of King packaging sugar, a white pack of matches with white tips, a fresh nap moist towelette, and another item that's not usually in a regular MRE, a napkin. Now that's a good spread of food, but these very thin, plasticky packages have a best by date back in 2017. So the question is, will any of this be good to eat? Let's open up the pack for the main entree. It looks to be in nice condition. Halal vegetable barley stew with lamb. And that was actually packed on the 253rd day of 2014. And that means that even though this is an early 2016 meal, some of the components do predate that ration packing date. At this point, any ration heater from 2015, 2016 are basically a crapshoot on whether or not they will activate. To give this one a better shot of doing so, we will add our entire salt packet to it. And this time, instead of taking the retort pouch and actually sticking it down inside of the ration heater, I'm going to just add water to the heater. Try to get that pad completely wet, and then I'm going to just put the heater next to the retort pouch and slide all that down into the box for the main, and maybe that will prevent the ration heater from being smothered, giving it a little extra space, and it will activate. I am happy to report that it is making some sounds. I think I would like this chocolate pudding heated as well. That one was packed in 2015, and I'm going to sandwich that in on the other side of the ration heater. While this is heating up, let's get everything else plated up. The only drink in this is our beverage-based powdered grape. I have yet to run across a halal meal that has a tea or a coffee in it, but I'm pretty sure that they are an option. I suppose we'll start with the drink mix. The powder in this one actually appears to be white in color, but it smells of artificial grape. In the glass, yeah, that's not looking like any food coloring is added. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. It's definitely grape colored. That food coloring was sneaky like a ninja. That is very chunky and is taking a lot of stirring to dissolve. I actually think we're gonna have to let this one sit for a minute. The heater's still doing its thing, so let's get into some of our side items here. We'll look at these raisins first, and those things look super dry. Oh yes, they are decrepit. They look like they are completely without moisture, but smell like a raisin. Next we'll do the roasted salted peanuts. Just looks like peanuts to me, although these are smelling a little rancidy. On to our mini pretzels. There are many of them, and those smell terrible. Oh no. I already know what I'm getting into here with these rancid oil smells. And the last pack to open is our ginger snap cookies. They are all crumbled up, but luckily this one actually smells really nice. I suppose we'll work our way from worst to hopefully best. I think that means we're going to start out with these mini pretzels. They look perfect, but they smell far from it. Those are so rancid. But let's give them a taste. You know, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. Weird. They smell super rancidy, but they don't really taste it. They're nice and crunchy. They are a little bit bleachy tasting, but not too bad. Salted on the outside. Like any hard pretzel, they dry the crap out of your mouth. I will actually go as far to say that these taste good. Good enough where I'm going to finish them off. Not sure how they survived, but they did. Now I'm in dire need of a drink. Give our great beverage here one more quick stir. There is a lot of sediment in the bottom. I think there's some chunks in there that we're just not going to get rid of. So let's see what it's tasting like. Tangy, sweet, refreshing. I'm no big lover of grape flavored things, but this is completely acceptable. Now we'll get into our raisins here. They're so dried out that they have a crystalline sugar on the outside. They smell no different from any old raisin, so maybe they're still all right. I've had better, but I've also definitely had worse. These are not those barely edible, motor oil tasting MRE raisins that you run across. A regular MRE raisin is usually coated with glycerin, and when that glycerin gets old, it tastes awful. I don't think these were coated, and so that caused them to get all dry, but they have retained a nice, sweet, raisiny flavor and are completely edible. Snack item number 3, roasted salted peanuts. They look perfectly fine, but as stated before, they don't really smell that great. Generally, peanuts hold up very well, so I wouldn't be surprised if these are fine, but there's only one way to know. Fine might be the word I would use to describe those, but I don't think that's the right word. There is definitely something weird with these. If they haven't hit it just yet, these are certainly on the path to disgusting rancidity. The salt is a nice touch, but these are tasting their age. Maybe if we mix the raisins and the peanuts, the sum will be greater than the total. So now with a little handful of raisins and nuts, sweet and salty will never let you down. The old peanut flavor is masked by that pungent raisin flavor, and I'm having a decent time eating them. To add to that bite, put a pretzel in there, and with that addition, we almost have a makeshift trail mix. I find that in most of these halal meals, you can just mix the snacks together, and it really is better that way. I've given the heater all the time I can spare. It is hot to the touch. So hot, in fact, it made it up to about 140. Not too bad. The pudding feels nice and warm. The main entree, on the other hand, is barely above room temperature in places. And there is our half-heated vegetable barley stew with lamb. This stuff smells awesome. Oh man, I'm so excited now. Oh yes, that aroma wafting off this is a good one. Very lamb-like in nature. So in this, we of course have a lot of this barley that appears to be suspended in sort of a tomato sauce. There's some carrot, some corn, some green bell pepper, and that might just be a little chunk of potato. And then distributed all throughout that, we have these chunks of roast lamb meat. It is non-processed. These are whole, chunky bits of muscle. It does look like it's pretty dry, and I can see some stringy fat sort of going through them, but that is most certainly lamb meat. Very fragrant lamb meat at that. Let's go straight in for a bite. The barley stew part of it is a little bit gloopy, but that meat is looking nice. Halal vegetable barley stew with lamb down the hatch. The meat is dry, but tender. It is very lamb forward. I actually like that. There's a little bit of sweetness to this, just a little bit. I'm pretty impressed by the amount of lamb that's in this pack. This does have 23 grams of protein. This bite has some more vegetables in it, carrot, potato, corn. That sweetness I was picking up on might be coming from that corn. The flavors of this are nothing crazy. Barley is super soft and just sort of melts away, and the main taste is that of a basic tomato-based sauce. There's no real spiciness or heat to this. I think the addition of the pepper here will be a welcome one. Some hot sauce would have been really nice with this one, but I say that about pretty much everything. That one piece of meat I had just then was definitely more along the dry lines than some of the others were. This left side of the portion wasn't heated nearly as good as the right side, and you can tell that when you get into it. I do like this though. It's savory. It has some oniony depth, and I think it would have been equally good had this been rice as opposed to barley, but the barley is perfectly fine. The star of the show though is all this lamb meat. I guess before I kill all this off, we should at least sneak a pretzel in there for a little bit of added crunch. and added salt too, which is pretty beneficial for this main in my opinion. I think that's how I will enjoy the rest of this. Try to put a pretzel or two in every single bite. We haven't even made it to dessert yet, and I can already say I'm pretty thoroughly impressed by this menu. I can definitely see that if you are a soldier that's eating a lot of MREs on a regular basis, and you have the opportunity to dig into a couple of these halal meals, whether you have halal dietary requirements or not, that would be a very welcome opportunity. Sometimes the dog gets a taste of one of these menus, but not today. This one is all mine. Last bite. Now let's get into the sweets. First off, we'll take a look at one of these ginger snap cookies. They're very light and airy, dry and crumbly, and fantastic. Absolutely perfect. They're very sweet, have a lovely spiced flavor. Ginger, cinnamon, nutmeggy, excellent. The only complaint that I could have about these is that there's not more of them. And we're getting pretty lucky in this menu because we still have one dessert left, our chocolate pudding. At this point, it has cooled down a good bit, but there it is, just jiggly chocolate pudding. See if we can't squeeze this in next to our cookies. Oh yeah, we're just pooping that right on out. Pretty much all the halal menus come with some kind of pudding item. It looks a little lumpy, and check out that jiggle, halal chocolate pudding. Still a little warm. That is creamy, not crazy sweet. The chocolate flavor is there. You can't go wrong with chocolate pudding. I think the real pro move though is to take one of our ginger snaps here, scoop up some of that pudding, and eat those two together. The extra sugar, the ginger flavor, and that crunch makes a world of difference. There's a reason that I put these two next to each other on the tray, and that's because I knew that they would mix together in an amazing way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and incorporate them here. Man, that's pretty hard to beat. And just like that, I have decimated the majority of this meal. I do still have some snacks to enjoy after the filming's done, but for now, I think that does it for this video. That was Halal Meal Individual from 2016, and that was one outstanding MRE dinner. This one held up amazingly well compared to some other halal meals that I've run into, and every single item was pretty stellar. I want to say a big thank you to you guys for checking the video out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to help it out with the algorithm. If you know someone else that might like the video, please be sure to share it, because that is literally the best way to help me grow the channel. Subscribe to the channel to catch all of my future ration content, and drop me a comment letting me know what you thought of the review and halal MREs in general. I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.